Hey there, I'm Brittany from BrittanyFlammer.com with videos here all about budgeting and teaching online so you can do the things you love. Today, we are going to talk all about pay, VIPKid Pay, and how much I've actually made. 2020 has been a crazy year for so many things, but it has also brought about a lot of changes for VIPKid and the pay scale. So what I'm going to do for you today is I am going to show you exactly what I have made with VIPKid. I'm going to show you my actual pay as well as my typical schedule for VIPKid. I'm going to compare my teaching versus my recruiting for VIPKid, the pay I receive, let you know whether or not I think it's worth it to teach in 2021. And I've got a great tip for how to balance your budget when you have an inconsistent income with VIPKid. When your pay varies month to month, a tip you can use for budgeting. So let's go ahead and get started right now. I am a mom of 5 young kids, so I just teach for VIPKid part-time. In the comments down below, let me know, do you teach for VIPKid? Do you teach part-time or do you teach full-time? I would love to know. So I have young kids, so I just teach part-time. My goal is to earn a little bit of extra income for our family. So it's just part-time in the mornings. But I'd love to know what you teach. And I have been teaching for VIPKid for about 1.5 years. I'm getting ready to sign my 4th contract. So I'd love to know, I'm curious, how long have you been teaching? In the comments below, let me know how long you have been teaching for VIPKid and whether you teach full-time or part-time. I would love to know that. So let's go ahead and jump into this. I am going to share my screen and I've got a PowerPoint presentation prepared. So I'm going to pull that up right here. And let's take a look at this. You can see my January pay is $492. This is on the old pay scale where you got extra incentives for teaching 45 classes a month. So my goal was to hit that 45 class mark to get the extra incentive. So if you look at my schedule, I typically taught 3 days a week. I was training for a race, so I was running Monday, Wednesday, Saturday were my running days. So I took those days off from teaching, so I only taught 3 days a week, and my goal was to hit that minimum to get those 45 classes. So I made $492 for the month of January. Let's head on to February. $464, a little bit less, but it's that same basic schedule. Teaching 3 days a week and taking off those other days for running. And I hit the 45 classes a month, just like I wanted. And then let's go to March. If you'll see, I dropped down to 420. I didn't hit that 45 mark. I think that the last day of the month, I realized I was like 1 short and it was too late to open up any slots. So I missed it by like a class. But if you'll look at my schedule, it's that same, just the 3 days a week. I started a little bit later because my race that I was doing was actually in March. So I was running much longer runs those days. So I wanted to save my energy and get a little bit more sleep. So I didn't teach as many classes. And I missed that bonus, that extra incentive by like 1 class, which was a bummer, but I kept my consistent schedule. But then let's go ahead and look at April. I go all the way up to $891 for the month of April. My race was over. I was done with training. So I opened up Mondays through Fridays. So I taught 5 days a week. And this is the time with my YouTube channel. I had decided to start the YouTube channel and I was going to focus on VIPKid. I wanted to help teachers go through the hiring process, and then I wanted to help new teachers once they got started teaching, help them in their teaching journey. So I decided to focus on VIPKid and to go all in. So I opened up my schedule Monday through Friday. I also taught a few weekends. Now, I don't typically teach weekends. I would love to know for you in the comments down below. Let me know, do you typically teach weekends? Do you teach Fridays and Saturdays? Do you teach nights? I don't normally teach them. I will occasionally teach like a Friday night or maybe a Saturday morning if we want a little bit extra for the month, but I typically do not. I have never done an all-nighter. If you have, let me know in the comments down below. I would love to know. But let's hop back into my presentation. Oops. Okay, so you can see I made a lot more that month. I taught 1 or 2 Friday evenings, but that was my typical schedule. Sorry, just a sec. Let me hop on over to my screen. It's not. Ooh, I can't go back to my screen. What did I do? Aha, there we go. Okay, and going back on to May, I decided that 5 days a week was a little bit too much with my kids at home, doing schooling at home with COVID. It was a little bit much, so I stopped teaching Mondays, and I just taught Tuesday through Friday. So my income did drop quite a bit, but $654, I still was having 4 days a week, consistent, much more income than what I had planned when I first started teaching with VIPKid. And I think I taught 1 Friday evening this month, and I got $654. On to June, my payment went up to $705, and you just see the 4 days a week. I really liked having Monday off, so Monday I still wake up early and I still work, but this is when I script YouTube videos or edit YouTube videos and kind of organize my life. So I'm still up and I'm still working, but I'm not actually teaching that day. It's Tuesday through Friday when I'm doing my teaching. And most of my classes are booked 4 weeks out. So I had a lot of classes already booked, and we were not planning on going anywhere because of COVID. We didn't know what to expect, so I did not make any plans. I did not take any time off from teaching. But then the restrictions lightened. Our family still wanted us to come out and visit. We live away from family. So we decided to go out to visit, but I was already booked for my classes 4 weeks out. So I did not take any time off. I taught while we traveled. I taught in a closet. I taught in a bathroom. I taught lots of crazy places. In fact, I have a video. Check it out. It'll be up here, and I'll put it down in the description box below on tips for teaching while you are traveling. I learned a lot during that month. So I have my core hour or two of classes, and they get booked out 4 weeks. And then if I have any openings or gaps, what I will do is if I want more income, I will keep them open, and they'll usually fill in as the time gets closer. But since we were traveling, if there was anything that wasn't booked, I closed it so I could have a little bit more time with family and not have to worry about teaching as many hours. So I got about $705 while we were traveling with family. Then into July, we came back home. We're at home. I made $846, but I'm still just teaching Tuesday through Friday in the mornings. I'm not teaching any weekends. I'm not teaching any evenings. This is the first month I think this is the first month I had a referral go through the process to where I got a bonus. August, I dropped down to 600. I took an entire week off in August. My husband's busiest time of year for his job is at the end of August. So I took an entire week off, and I knew I was going to be taking a week off. So I had my Tuesday through Friday, but then I also opened up a little bit on Monday. I didn't teach quite as early, so I still had a little bit of time for organizing and doing other stuff. But I did teach Mondays to compensate for that. So this is my typical schedule for September, and I made over $600. Now we're going to go into October. I kept my Tuesday through Friday schedule. I have this student is a student I loved, so she requested Monday, so I taught just her on Mondays, so I still got some work done. But I taught Tuesday through Friday. We were showing our house and preparing to move, so I didn't open up quite as many slots, but I had a couple of referrals going through the process, so I was still making over $700. Then comes to October. I took almost a full week off. We moved from Arkansas to Utah. We moved. So I took almost a full week off in October, and we were buying a house. We have a lot of work to do on the house, and my husband was working 2 jobs. So I knew it was going to be crazy. So I just opened up the bare minimum to keep some regulars. And then I figured after we moved, when we got here, if I wanted to, I could open up more. But I just wanted to keep regulars, keep a schedule, keep in the rhythm of teaching, but I did not want to be stressed. But you'll see, I made almost $600 because I had a couple of referrals go through the process. On to November. Our family got COVID. I was sick, my husband was sick, and three of our kids, our three school kids, were sick with COVID. So we were at home. So I already had classes booked out because most of mine get booked out 4 weeks. So I just taught those bare minimum. Any other slots I closed because I did not feel well. And this is pretty much what it looked like for the entire month. I just did the bare minimum, and I only made $250. And this is December. The month is not over, but this is what most of my December has looked like. I took off Christmas. Took off. I just took off a couple of days sporadically, but I have just kept that bare minimum schedule to keep some regulars. And then if I want more slots, I will open up more. But we've moved to a new time zone, so it's earlier teaching. I worked a lot earlier on the year so that I could not have to work as much. Right now, my husband's still working 2 jobs, and we did buy a house that we're doing a lot of work on. So I kept just the minimum to keep my basic regular students. So here is my year at a glance. I made $7,581 while my kids were in bed, just teaching a few mornings a week. And here's a snapshot of the income. Most of it, as you can see, is the blue. My teaching income's over $6,000 from teaching. That orange is a little sliver of referrals that I helped through the process and then got my bonus of $100 per referral. And then that little gray sliver is affiliate marketing. Now, what is this, you might ask? I am an affiliate for International Open Academy. They have online courses. They have a lot of online courses. The one that I most heavily promote is they have a TESOL or a TEFL course, and it's all online. They have lots of information. You read through the material, you take quizzes or you take tests, and you have to pass in order to pass. It's an accredited TESOL course, and I did it when I first started. If you're just teaching for VIPKid, it is not required because you can do VIPKid's course and be certified to teach. However, I wanted an extra course to look good to parents, and if you ever have the desire to go to another company, it will transfer because it is an accredited course. It's not just a VIPKid course. And with my link, it's only $19. So I've done it. It was a great experience for me. It helps me with bookings. And I recommend it, even if you're only teaching VIPKid, I recommend it to help with bookings. But then also, if you ever intend to go to another company, then it transfers, and it's great to already have it, and you can get a higher base pay when you're getting hired. So I will put a link in the description box below because I highly recommend it. I am also an Amazon affiliate, which means if I recommend a product that I love, that I bought off of Amazon, and I put it in the link down below, someone clicks on it and buys it, I get a small percentage. It's like 2 to 4%. So it is not very much. The income does not add up very quickly. I'm never going to retire off of that, but it's completely passive income. I add the link once, and there aren't very many links because I only share what I love and would recommend. So I'm not going to make a ton of money off of it, but it's completely passive. When I sleep, someone can click on something while I'm sleeping. I don't have to be doing anything. It's completely passive. And the recruiting, I did a lot of work up front to film videos on every step of the process, as well as creating my website to help referrals through the process. I still spend time emailing and coaching referrals. However, majority of it was already done initially up front. So it's not completely passive, but it is kind of a little bit passive. So on to the question, is VIPKid worth it? I would love to know in the comments down below. Let me know what you think. If you think VIPKid is worth it, if you think it's worth it or not, I would love to know. Sandra, hello, thank you for joining us. She teaches Monday through Friday, 4:30 to 8 or 9. Okay, awesome. Saturdays and Sundays. I love it. Thank you so much for sharing. So Sandra, if you are still on here, I would love to know, do you feel like it is still worth it to teach for VIPKid in 2021? I am going to share my screen again. And sorry, this is new software. This is my first time trying this. So let me switch over to this and share my screen. So is it worth it? On the old pay scale, I have an $8 base pay. I was making about $20 an hour. On this new pay scale, I just checked this last month, it was $19 an hour, about. And that was with a few short notice bookings. If I don't have any short notice bookings, then it is more like $18 to $19 an hour. So that is a huge drop in pay. So is it still worth it? Um, I know for a lot of teachers it's not. For me, I feel like it is still worth it because I have little kids. I can't teach during the day. And in the evenings when my husband is at home, I either have activities with my family, I need to spend time with my family, helping them do schoolwork, or when we're in a non-COVID time, that's when they have their extracurriculars, so I'm involved with that. So early mornings or late nights is the only time I have available to teach with my personal schedule. So VIPKid is still great in the fact that all of the slides are prepared. I have very little prep time. When I first started, there was some prep time, but now it is very minimal and the slides are all prepared. I have a handful of props that I use. I don't spend a lot of time preparing. Everything's ready. The students come to me. I don't have to find students. So for me, it is still worth it. It might not be for everybody, but it is still worth it for me. Now I want to share with you a little change I'm doing with my YouTube channel. I have been filming videos all about VIPKid. I am changing now to filming more videos about budgeting and money saving tips so that no matter what your income is with VIPKid or with any other company, you can afford to live a life that you love. Take this slide for example. My income varies drastically from month to month. If you look at this chart, it varies drastically. So what I recommend doing, here is my tip for if you are on an inconsistent income like VIPKid. Find the average. So my average is $574. So what I will do with my average is I will set that as my budget. That is what I will budget and plan for every single month. So then when I have a month like April here, where I earn almost like about 300 more than my average, I open up a savings account. I go to my bank or credit union or wherever you do your banking, open up a separate savings account. Usually these are free. Check to make sure there are no fees attached with it. But I open up a separate savings account. I call it my overflow account. You can call it whatever you want, but I open up a separate savings account. And then when I have a month like April where I earn more than $300 over what I've budgeted, I will transfer that money into the savings account. So it is not in my checking account. I am not going to spend it. It's sitting over here in a separate account. And then when I come to a month like November, where I did not make $574, but that's what I budgeted, I can pull that money out because it's already in there. So find the average of what you have been making and budget according to that. That is my tip. If you would like more money saving tips and tips about budgeting, check out my playlist. I will link it down in the description box. I'll have it playing right here. I have all sorts of tips for you for saving money. I have a printable checklist also in the description box down below with lots of tips. It's basic everyday tips for saving money that can help you no matter what your income is. It's not about how much you make, it's how you spend that you do make. So everyone can afford to live a life that they love, no matter what your income. So check out the printable in the description box below. Check out my playlist right over here. I hope you have found this helpful. Thank you so much for joining. Have a great day.